on GoSuffolkRams.com. From Boston, Massachusetts, welcome to Suffolk Sounds, the official show for Suffolk University Athletics.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome back into another episode of Suffolk Sounds. I'm your host, Nick Pernick, with some extra pep going on for you this week, as 4 winter sports teams have been given the green light to compete in a shortened 2021 season, and we here at Suffolk Athletics couldn't be more excited to watch them compete. Schedules for men's and women's hockey and basketball will be released on a week-by-week basis going forward, so make sure to stay locked in on social media throughout the winter to stay up to date on all of this. We also have a top-notch student-athlete guest joining me today for a one-on-one interview. That's coming up in just a little bit. That being junior Will Rowe of men's basketball. Great interview with him, so just stay tuned for that. But first, let me start off with some more shout-outs this week coming out from around the Suffolk Athletic Department. First, the huge shout-out goes out to our very own sports information director, Amy Barry, who was named to her alma mater, Salem State's inaugural 40 under 40 class. That program is a new tradition of recognizing leaders under 40 who make significant contributions to their professions or communities. This is a tremendous honor, Amy. From me personally, congratulations, and from the whole athletic department, that's a great honor. Congratulations again. Next, a massive Ram Nation thank you goes out to men's indoor and outdoor track and fields, Kevin Luna Torres, who is activated to help defend the presidential inauguration last month in Washington, D.C. He spent lengthy shifts on the line, and when he was on break, he was catching up on some sleep in parking garages and empty offices with other members of his unit. Definitely a very tough thing to be called into duty to do, but we give our hats off here at Ram Nation to Kevin. Everything went off smoothly and safely. So we just want to say thank you again, and I hope to personally thank you when you come back and we see you on campus in the Ridgeway building in the near future. And to stay up to date on all this news around the world of Suffolk athletics, make sure to bookmark our website, GoSuffolkRams.com, and turn on notifications for both Twitter and Instagram, the @ being @GoSuffolkRams. Now back to today's interview. Will Rowe is more than just the hooper for the Rams. He also serves as the president to the school's Student Athlete Advisory Committee and details the many initiatives that the group has set up throughout the entire year and their future goals as well. Along with that, we dive into what it's been like for the team preparing for a season in a year where COVID protocols are being strictly followed. He also lets us in on a team secret, one of their favorite spots to grab a pregame bite to eat right down the street from campus. You got to stick around to hear me out and hear him out and try it out. I got to go up sometime this week. He makes it sound really good. We talked a little bit off the air about it too. So just appetized just thinking about it right now. So Will was spot on with this one. Great interview. So stick around. That interview starts right now. Will, coming to us from Reston, Virginia, all the way up here to Beacon Hill. What was that journey like for you coming from Virginia up to Boston?
Well, so I actually grew up in New England for the first part of my life, and I ended up moving down to Virginia later on. But so one of the things is I was recruited while I was in New England, and I moved in the middle of that. So it was sort of weird for like the coaches to sort of watch me play, being in Virginia and being so far away. But because of the fact that I lived in New England, I loved Boston. I had been there a few times as a kid, and it was something I really wanted to enjoy and be a part of.
So in Virginia, you went to South Lakes High, and you also lettered in football as well as basketball. What was your football career like? And is it weird to come to a school with no football?
My football career was short-lived. I played my freshman and sophomore year. I loved it. I was always a huge football fan, but eventually, I just grew to be too tall, and basketball was just always what I loved. So it was kind of a tough decision, but, I really just wanted to stick with basketball.
And now you're playing basketball up here for Coach Duron and the Rams. You guys put together some great seasons already in your first couple campaigns, and now you're looking forward to a junior year. What are you looking forward to now as you join a new conference like the CCC? You took on a heightened role last year, playing in every game. And what are you looking forward to as well as the team in this upcoming season?
I'm most looking forward to establishing ourselves in a new conference. We've played some of the teams in the CCC in the past, but I would really like to show ourselves as, a good team in the CCC that will compete in every year. We were the last couple seasons we were competing in the GNAC and we started to make a name for ourselves. And I would like to carry that over to the CCC. We got some good seniors with Nate Hale, Brendan Molson, and Alex Jacobitis. And, we can actually do some good damage this year, just like we have in the past, and we can continue our success.
You guys now have made 8 straight postseason appearances, and I'm sure the sight is set right on a 9th when you rejoin league play. Does the goal remain the same, and what are the heightened expectations? What do you guys have to do to get over the hump?
I think the main thing we got to do is just keep showing up every day in practice, trying to work hard and keep competing. When you practice every day, every other team practices the same time as you, so you gotta get the advantage somehow. And the best way to do that is to show up to practice and just give it your all. You listen to the coach, you follow the plays, and you compete in the drills. And, it sort of builds a competitive spirit that carries over to the game. One thing everyone always says, you don't rise to the competition, you fall to your training. So it's just about making sure that we're trained really well and we know the plays and we got the game plan set up. And we've been doing all our scouting and we have the game plan in our minds going into it.
Now that all kind of gets thrown in the mix now with COVID going on. It's been about 11 months now since you've heard your last buzzer sound in a real game. And I'm sure all the training has been all over the place and everything like that. So what has the COVID training protocol been like, and what has it been like on campus for you and the team going forward?
Well, we're testing 3 times a week. We got a testing window in the morning and then practice at night. We're all trying our best here to have a season. We've made rules and guidelines for us as a team to try and follow to limit the amount, to limit basically any cases we can have. We're all trying our best here to make a season happen. And, it calls for giving up some things, whether it's, your social life or just whatever your situation is. It varies by person, but, everyone's coming together to try and make the season happen.
So, where's your favorite place to play in terms of intensity and atmosphere?
So I got 2 places. My favorite place so far has been Johnson and Wales. They had a huge fan section on both sides. I think they had a band. I don't exactly recall, but that was a close game that year
D3
too.
Sports needs more bands, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So I remember that year, everybody was there. It was a close game. We were fighting play by play, and the atmosphere was crazy. Everyone was yelling. The women's team was yelling for us, and what parents were there. All of Johnson and Wales was yelling at us. So it's always fun to feel like the villain too. That was probably my favorite atmosphere. Another place that always has a great intensity was Albertus Magnus College. Same thing. They always had a band and they'd put them right next to your bench to make it harder to hear coach talking and stuff. And, it's a good team too. So you always know you're going to get into a battle beforehand. And they always have a lot of fans there. So it's always a good atmosphere. So Johnson and Wales and Albertus were my 2 favorite places to play at.
Let's talk a little bit here about your SAAC duties. You're president of the SAAC, and you're pretty much kind of like a figurehead for the student athletes. What was that appointment like, and what has it been like for you, and what are you looking to get done and accomplish with SAAC in the coming year?
It's been a great learning experience. I've never actually done something like this, and it was really a great opportunity for me to start learning leadership and how to manage. The first meeting we had, we were talking about racism, and I found it very interesting that was sort of the focus of SAAC, and getting people involved on campus, educated on different issues, or whatever really you have going on. And I thought it was a great opportunity to sort of get my voice out there and just do some of the things that I've always kind of wanted to do. Some of the things we're trying to do, we are trying to do an anti-racism fundraiser soon. Pretty soon we're trying to raise money for food banks in Boston. And we actually have a panel coming up for talking about sort of what's been going on in Armenia. We have a couple guest speakers. One of them, Mike Kagopian, you guys should know him. He played basketball for Suffolk 2 years ago. He was an Armenian pro. He agreed to come and speak to Suffolk and sort of give his experience as being an Armenian man and how this sort of situation has affected him. So just some of the things we're looking to roll out this year. We're trying to embody sort of what every athlete cares about. We sent out a survey to everybody's teams where they filled out, we had a list of programs we were trying to run and which ones they thought were the most interesting. So we could sort of make sure that all of athletics got their voice in there and we weren't just doing it based on ourselves.
That's awesome. And that's a really good goal to strive for, is, just kind of bettering everyone, whether it be anti-racism or just understanding what's going on in the world, or just being a place that you can kind of bounce ideas off of each other. It must be a nice environment.
Yeah, we try to make it a
Go ahead.
nice, good environment for everybody.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, you're good.
You mentioned former teammates coming back and helping out. That's always great when Suffolk grads can come back and spread their good word. But you talk about teammates, and what have your teammates been like getting ready for the season, and what has it been like being a member of this team, and what are some of the shenanigans that go on behind the scenes with your team?
This team's been pretty great. I've been here. This is my junior year. I've had some great teammates in the past. I have some great teammates now, lifelong friends. We just sort of, we all love basketball. We love everything about it. So we do a lot of basketball things, whether it's, just watching a Celtics game or playing pickup in our off time, doing whatever. We love to just go around Boston. Sometimes we ride the blue bikes around and visit all the different parts of Boston, just messing around. We're all very competitive too, on and off the court, no matter what it is. Me and my friend Nate Hale always have some good rivalries going on. We never try to let each other win. It's just sort of part of our nature.
I love that competitive drive. You said you mentioned you ride those blue bikes around town. Where do you go where are your favorite places to go when you go around town?
I gotta say my favorite place in Boston is the North End. Just really nice. You got the wharf. I love the view from the North End, and it's always been great vibes. I do like sometimes we go down the other way towards Boylston Street, Newberry Street, and sort of the Public Garden, that sort of area. We sort of bike all over, but I gotta say that the North End and I'd say the Public Garden are my two favorite places in Boston.
It's nice when the garden's right there. It's right on the edge of campus, so it's perfect location to go for a quick walk or to go to the other side and grab a bite to eat or something like that. It's just really convenient. A couple more Boston favorites for you. Where's your favorite coffee shop and favorite place to eat?
I'd say my favorite place to eat is Filibuster. The Filibuster. It's sort of by it's all basically in campus almost. It's right by the State House. It's locally run. It's one of our team favorites. They have chicken cutlets every Thursday. We always go there. You can always find us there. It's definitely a team favorite, but also a personal favorite. I'm not much of a huge coffee drinker. Sometimes I'll drink some tea, but for the most part, I don't drink coffee. But I have to say my favorite caf would probably be Cafe Nero. I've been there only a couple times, but I'm not a huge coffee drinker.
Well, Will, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to your season, but I also look forward to joining in and watching on what you do with SAAC in the coming months and coming year. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Ram Nation, if you liked what you heard from today's episode, please make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Go Suffolk Rams. And make sure to subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform it is that you choose to listen to or watch us on. As for next week's episode, you won't want to miss it. We got Joe Vingi, a senior captain from the men's hockey team. He's on to talk about his journey all the way up to Suffolk and his hockey playing career and everything he likes to do here in the city of Boston. It's another good one. Thanks again to Will, who was on for today's episode. That was a great chat. Until then, stay safe, everyone, and we'll see you then.
This has been Suffolk Sounds. Don't forget to subscribe, like, rate, and review however you listen to your podcast.